So we have new casting announcements for the Harry Potter HBO reboot, and you're probably going to see over the next week or two new headlines that say Ron Weasley has been recast mid-season. No, I'm just going to start off the thing going, no, Ronald Weasley has not been recast. Alistair Stout is going to continue to play Ron Weasley. There is just a second Ron Weasley and the first season. And there's always been a second Ron Weasley in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's / Sorcerer's Stone. So before you get your feathers all in a tizzy going, oh no, this season is already starting off to be really bad, the fact they have to recast Ron Weasley halfway through the season. And I'm sure all of the people who just want to hate on this series are going, look, Harry Potter's doomed. Harry Potter is doomed. Because I see that all the time. I see videos titled Harry Potter HBO Season 1 in trouble. And it's like, with what? And then you watch it and it's just, they don't like that Hans Zimmer was cast. They don't like that Malkin was cast, which is one of the castings that we got. We got 3 castings that were announced. So let's go over the first 2 less important ones. And then we'll talk about more of the Ron Weasley in the room. So first off, we got Naomi Werther as Madame Malkin. I say less important characters because she's literally in 2 scenes in the entire series. We may see more of her, but in the books, we see her in Sorcerer's Philosopher's Stone and Half-Blood Prince, both times with Malfoy. So we are going to be getting that scene, but are we going to get more? That they're announcing this as, hey, look, here's a big thing. And I don't know if it was a true announcement or it was just some of these people who have finished casting and like have seen. So it's just like, hey, look, we found out this information. Thank you. But we have Madame Malkin, which means we are going to get the first true interaction between Harry and Malfoy without Malfoy realizing that it was Harry. Maybe we'll see that he actually did know it was Harry. And then the scene that we see with Jordan Flynn, who plays Lucius Malfoy, we're going to have Draco and Lucius have this conversation about, you know, I believe that boy with Hagrid was Harry Potter. Did you make a good impression on him, Malfoy? You need to do better. Something like that. Because at this point, the Death Eaters aren't sure. Nobody knows who this Harry Potter kid is. They think, he's the one who brought about the end of the Dark Lord. But some of the Death Eaters think, well, he might be the new Dark Lord. Draco, be his friend. We may be ruled by him one day. So there's that. That is a very important scene because it's Harry getting his true first impression of Draco without Draco realizing who he's talking to. Because the next time we see him, Draco is, I would say, a little bit more prim and proper on the way he talks, but also at the same time, he's very insulting to the guy who Harry just shared candy with. So it's kind of a weird scene. The other character that's not Ron Weasley that has been cast is Neil Edmond. He's going to play Innkeeper. And those who have not read the books are going to be like, when is there an Innkeeper? Are you talking about like Tom the barkeep? Is he going to be playing Tom? No, there's a small scene, probably going to be in the first episode, where when the Dursleys are on the run from the letters, because they abruptly leave the house because there's no post on Sunday, but the fireplace did not get the message. Well, I guess it did get the message, didn't it? Got a lot of the messages. Anyway, because they were flooded out of the house by Hogwarts letters, and Harry didn't think to just grab the one off the ground. Granted, he may have tried, but Vernon kind of stopped him. In the movie, of course, all he does is go like this, like he's in one of those cash rooms with all the money going around. But he didn't grab any when there was a bunch on the ground, and people are like, this is why Harry's not in Ravenclaw. It's like, well, that was just for fun effect. If they're flying around and he just goes, oh, I'm going to pick this one up, and then Vernon tackles him, it would have been funny, actually, now that I think of it. But Harry could have grabbed it, but he was grabbed by Vernon and pushed out the door before he could actually get anything. Because, of course, it's not an open floor plan. It was a single room. Anyway, the Innkeeper is where they stay that night. They stay at a hotel, just a little tiny motel. They're they go to have their little continental breakfast that morning, and the innkeeper comes up and says, I've got some letters from H. Potter. I only got about 100 of these. Do you want them? And then Vernon abruptly packs up his family and leaves and ends up on the hut on the rock. So yeah, that's Neil Edmond is playing Innkeeper, who comes up and says, I've got letters. We'll probably get more of Innkeeper, maybe them checking into the hotel, like while Harry's sitting in the car, and we just see in the background, Vernon checking into the hotel, and then the next morning we see, hey, I got these letters. Hey, listen, get that bag. Just saying. All right, now let's talk about Ron. And you're probably saying, when I said there's 2 Rons in the first book, you're probably saying, what do you mean there's 2 Rons in the first book? Well, technically, yes, but it's a very big stretch to say that there's 2 Rons in the first book. I do have to be honest. There is a reflection of Ron. When Ron looks into the mirror of Erised, he sees an older version of himself. Keyword, older version. Holding the house cup, wearing the Quidditch captain's badge and the head boy badge because, he is the most successful Weasley in his family. He is no longer in the shadow of his 5 other brothers who are way more popular, way smarter, way more successful. And even if he does do it, they did it first. Bill, head boy, Percy, the perfect prefect, Charlie, Quidditch captain, Fred and George, super popular. So that Ron that we are going to see in the Mirror of Erised is going to be played by Lewis Shelton, who is the recast Ron mid-season. Yeah, mid-season is when the Mirror of Erised scene takes place. Mid-season is when we're going to see Ron look in the mirror and probably, wow, this is so great, and probably see the older Ron standing in front of the mirror holding all this stuff. And then we zoom, it'll be like, oh, well, let me get into the mirror. He stands in the mirror and we see the older Ron holding all the stuff. And then we zoom out and then we'll probably see the young Ron looking at himself in the mirror. And that's it. That's the scene with the new Ron Weasley. Just an older redhead that looks kind of like an older version of Alistair Stout. What'll be fun is the fact that we get to see Alistair Stout grow up throughout this series. And when he gets to 7th year, being able to see how well they cast an older Alistair Stout. I think that'll be interesting. But that's it. That's all the news. It's not major news. It's 3 very small roles, but because one of those roles has the name Ron Weasley, the news blew up that Ronald Weasley has been recast. He hasn't. The show is not failing. The normal people who just don't want to hate on Harry Potter don't even know what's going on right now. The first time they're going to even realize that there's a new Harry Potter show is when they drop a trailer for the new Harry Potter HBO show. But on the message of the hate of Harry Potter, these are people who just want to hate it because it's popular. And I'll say, when I was a young kid and Harry Potter first got popular, I tried reading the first book. I thought the first chapter was boring. I didn't get into it. I didn't get into it until the second book came out and somebody said, here, listen, read the second book. The first book starts out really boring. The second book starts out real fast. So I read the second book and I got into it. So from the time that the first book came out to the second book, there was Harry Potter stuff everywhere. And I was just like, this is stupid. I don't know why people like this. Granted, I was 8. I acted like a child because I was 8. But adults who are like, this Harry Potter stuff is stupid. I don't know why anybody likes it. This show's stupid. I don't like it. It's dumb. Movies weren't even that good. I never read the books. I don't understand why people are obsessed with it. Grow up. You can like childish things, but you don't have to act childish. But that's it. If you've stayed this long, thanks for watching. Make sure to check out this video right here. This one right here. Check it out. It's probably a good video. YouTube thinks you like it. So check it out. And if you enjoy live streams or just Harry Potter discussion, I am going to start trying to live stream Fridays or Saturdays or Fridays and Saturdays. So make sure to, subscribe, turn on that alert bell so you can be notified if I go live streaming. And I will put out a community post before I live stream just so you know, hey, I'm on a live stream. So make sure to check that out. Without further ado, stay marvelous and Knox.